Massive reunion. Paul Heyman reunites with Roman Reigns reveals WWE Veteran as final member of OG Bloodline for Survivor Series. The November 22nd episode of SmackDown delivered a thrilling conclusion as tensions between the two factions set to face off in the men's WarGames match at Survivor Series reached a boiling point. With the OG Bloodline, Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn outnumbered by the new Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, Fatu, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Bronson Reed. Fans eagerly awaited the reveal of the final member of the OG Bloodline team. Paul Heyman emerged in a dramatic twist to unveil the last addition to Reigns' side, none other than CM Punk. Wasting no time, Punk marched to the ring and ignited a full-scale brawl between the two factions. The tide quickly turned in favor of the OG Bloodline, who cleared the ring, setting the stage for a climactic moment. Reigns and Punk delivered simultaneous finishers, leaving fans in awe. As the chaos subsided, the two megastars engaged in an intense stare-down, with the crowd roaring their approval. Paul Heyman's reappearance on WWE television marked his first since June, when the new Bloodline brutally attacked him for refusing to acknowledge Solo Sikoa as the true tribal chief. Last week's SmackDown teased Heyman's involvement, with Reigns attempting to reconnect with his former Wiseman. For Punk, this marked his first WWE appearance since his grueling Hell in a Cell match with Drew McIntyre, where he sustained significant injuries. His return adds another layer of intrigue to a storyline already packed with emotion and high stakes. The men's WarGames match isn't the only blockbuster showdown set for Survivor Series on November 30th in Vancouver, Canada. The women's WarGames match will feature Bianca Belair, Naomi, Bayley, IYO SKY, and Rhea Ripley battling Liv Morgan, Nia Jax, Raquel Rodriguez, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. Additionally, Gunther will defend his World Heavyweight Championship against Damian Priest in a highly anticipated clash, with Priest receiving notable praise from Heyman during a recent Raw segment. Priest expressed his gratitude, stating he was appreciative of Heyman's words, further elevating the significance of their upcoming match. As Survivor Series approaches, the return of CM Punk and the Bloodline Civil War storyline promise to make this year's event one of the most memorable in WWE history. Despite multiple attempts from the OG faction, Seth Rollins refused to join forces with a tyrant like Roman Reigns. Rollins' rival Reed, meanwhile, joined the Rogue faction, led by Solo Sikoa for the WarGames clash. This led many to believe that Rollins would be the fifth member of Reigns' bloodline. However, on the November 22nd episode of SmackDown, Paul Heyman made his return to rescue his tribal chief. Heyman also brought the Second City Saint, CM Punk, with him to join the OG faction as their fifth member for the WarGames clash. The addition of Punk has raised questions for the Visionary, especially since Reed, with whom he was feuding, is also involved in the Bloodline clash at the Survivor Series PLE. Let us now explore four possible paths that the Visionary can take after the addition of the Second City Saint to the Bloodline match. The Visionary could insert himself in the title picture and face the winner of the match between Gunther and Damian Priest. Gunther is scheduled to defend his World Heavyweight title against Priest at the upcoming Survivor Series. Rollins is one of the top stars of the Red brand who has held multiple titles, although currently, he doesn't hold any titles. This could motivate the Visionary to challenge himself and fight the World Heavyweight Champion. Rollins' animosity with Punk is well known among the pro wrestling fandom. The Second City Saint has also expressed his desire to face Gunther for the heavyweight crown. However, if Rollins can grab the title in the aftermath of the Survivor Series, it would set up a huge storyline involving the two legends. The Visionary is not scheduled for any match on the upcoming PLE. However, there is a chance that he could interfere in the Bloodline clash at the upcoming PLE. Rollins can kill three birds with one stone with his interference, as he can get his revenge on Solo Sikoa for costing him the match last week against Bronson Reed. The Visionary could also target Reed, with whom he still has unfinished business. On top of that, Rollins' interference could be used in future storylines against Punk. The promotion could have Rollins cost the OG faction the match, or make it seem like the OG faction still needed the Visionary's help despite Punk's addition to the team. The Visionary had made it clear that he would never join hands with his old friend Roman Reigns. while Reigns, on the other hand, is also not too keen on hashing the beef. Meanwhile, Reigns and company are ready to take on the Rogue faction, led by Sikoa. Reigns and company suffered defeat earlier this month at Crown Jewel PLE. The devastating loss ruptured the newly reunited faction's momentum and the legitimate when solidified Sikoa's claim to the throne of the tribal chief. The Rogue Bloodline has two giants who can shift the tide of a match at any moment, making it even more difficult for the OG faction to secure a win. The Rogue faction also won the advantage match in the November 29th pre-taped episode. Jacob Fatu defeated Jey Uso to win the advantage match on the November 29th episode of SmackDown. This has further increased their chances of winning. If the Rogue faction prevails again, the Visionary could take it upon himself to end the tyranny of Sikoa, given his hatred for authoritarianism. Rollins has also turned down Sikoa's attempt to hire him as the fifth member for the Clash at the PLE. Seth stated that he wouldn't team up with Reigns, but he would also never team up with a wannabe Roman Reigns. The Visionary doesn't get very along with Punk, and their mutual hatred has spilled over many times in the WWE. During Punk's feud with Drew McIntyre, the Visionary tried to insert himself into the rivalry. Since the return of Punk last week, the promotion could reignite the feud and start a storyline involving the two stars. Rollins can also point out Punk's hypocrisy in joining forces with Reigns despite their unpleasant history. Rollins could make a dramatic appearance on the November 25th episode of Monday Night Raw, where he might deliver a scathing promo exposing CM Punk. He could call out Punk for his recent actions, challenging him to a showdown that would escalate their rivalry and set the stage for an intense confrontation. What, in your opinion, should Rollins do after the recent developments? Do you want a storyline involving CM Punk and the Visionary? Let us know your thoughts and opinions in the comments section.